All right, so now that I actually have this all set up um, and UV mapped, now I just have to assign some materials and start to set up what would be the wall textures. So I'm thinking that with this situation, I'm going to have, which is very popular right now, that duotone, where you have like uh, parallel walls are going to be one color and perpendicular walls are going to be another. Okay. And that actually gives us a nice little breakup so it's not consistent and not relying so much on shadows to actually show some depth and changes in the scene. So for this, I'm going to grab, let's say, all of these, this entire wall here, and Control Shift select all of that wall there. And I'm going to assign a new material to it. Assign new material. Once again, we want an AI standard. We'll go in and go to the material attributes, that AI standard. And I'm going to make this one, and also so I could just see it, a nice sort of a burgundy color. Okay. So we've got something like this. If I press 7, because we put an area light in here, I can see that, and that's starting to look kind of nice. And I might think of like a tan color for the perpendicular walls. But for right now, let's go up close a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the material attributes. Oh, jinkies, stop that. We'll go into face mode, select you, and then material attributes. And now I could just select the material to deselect that. So now I'm going to go into the bump map, and I'm going to add that bump that I created. Wall bump 2, there it is. And we see this. And we see it's ginormous and looks, it's an interesting pattern, though it is not not exactly what I was going for. So we go to the placement node here. Now we're going to tile that down a bit. Let's say something like 10 by 10 to get this. It looks really rough here, okay? And I'm expecting that because if I hit render, I'm just going to take a second to kick in and calculate that, because since I close it up, it has to recache everything. And we could start to see that pattern happening there. Now, I'm not going to stress too much about the bump maps until I actually get some good lighting in here. I'm just setting them up so that I can tweak them out after I do. So what we're seeing here is there's a little bit of a bump, but I don't see the specularity and stuff on it. And that's where it's really going to kick in a notch, is when I start to go into that material and I start to tweak out the specularity of it. Because if I crank it up here, it's a little high, but we could see that it's starting to pop in. Now, I will make some different adjustments to it. Right now it's a little too generally shiny, so adjusting the roughness. See, if I go once again all the way to 0, it's a mirror, which we don't want. If I go all the way here, it's a flat. So we want somewhere where it's going to catch a little bit of reflection. And then we can adjust the weight of it. We don't want it all the way because it's all super shiny. We just want a little bit. We can even add a little bit of a Fresnel to it. So what the Fresnel would do is, based off of the angle that we're looking at it and the lighting in the scene, we would start to see the specular highlight from different angles, they would show up more. As well as I can adjust the anisotropy. So for right now, just having it around there, that's actually kind of nice. And once again, this isn't the super high res, so I'm not going to see all the details in there because it would take a long time. But you can see where the light is. I'm getting more of a specular highlight up here, less down here, and that makes more sense. I can even tint the color of my specularity, but that actually, for right now, that looks okay. So then I would do the same, and just to pause this, I'm going to hit here because otherwise it's going to keep trying to update everything, and that slows down working. And plus my machine is actually recording this while I'm doing this, so this is going to be very extensive. And I'm going to turn that over, ignore how it looks in here for right now. And the adjacent walls have a window in them. So I'm going to have to do two things. One, I'm going to have to select all these guys, Control Shift, but then I want to deselect the windows because I got something special for them. I'm going to put a glass material on them in a little bit. So I'm just going to, I have those selected, and actually what I'm going to do, because I like the way that works already, is I'm just going to go in again and go to the material attributes, and the one that I applied, AI standard, I'm just going to go in and call this one wall red matte for material. And it's doing that weird thing. We'll fix that later. But so it did that, and I'm going to select it. There it is there. I had to do a weird refresh. It's been acting so weird lately. And I'm just going to, with that one selected, edit, duplicate shading network. And instead of wall red, this one is going to be wall tan. And this way, what happens is I don't have to remember all the settings I had for the other wall. I want it to be the same treatment, just a different color. And then I can just go in and give it a more of a tannish kind of a color to it. Maybe something like that for right now. And now that I have that, now I can go in and make my selection. All of you, minus the window. All of you, minus the window. Make sure you don't have anything else you don't want attached. And now I can right click and assign, and now it's on there. Once again, don't stress over how the bumpiness looks in the camera view. I'll turn this back on so I could see. And now it's showing me both of those. And once again, take it with a grain of salt. We don't have the full lighting scheme and all the cool things we're going to be doing plugged into this yet, so that's why it's not, looking as awesome as it can look and will look. So just keep that in mind. But now I've got my walls done. I would repeat the same thing for the ceiling as well, right? Maybe I want different treatments for the ceiling. These are different colors or whatever, however I want to do it. And the next thing we'll do is the floor. And then we'll start on to getting some lighting done.